Okay, let's be real. We're all drowning in AI hype, right? But how do you actually use it to make your team better and, prove it's worth the money? Forget all the buzzwords. Today, we're going to walk through a concrete 90-day plan that delivers actual results. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start by finding the hidden problem that's killing your team's productivity. Then, we'll talk about the big mistake almost everyone makes with AI. After that, I'll show you exactly how to find those quick wins and turn this whole thing into a real measurable payoff. All right, let's get right into it. The first thing you have to understand is this. If your team feels like they're spinning their wheels, I can almost guarantee you it's not a talent problem. I mean, you hired smart, creative people, right? No, the real villain here is the broken process they're forced to work in. Just look at this number, 60%. Think about that for a second. Studies show that a ton of creative and marketing teams spend a whopping 60% of their time on just admin and manual stuff. That's not strategy, it's not being creative, it's just that low-value work about work that drains everyone. And that is what's holding your team back. That 60% is like a giant anchor, just dragging them down. It's this invisible force that stops your best people from doing the amazing, innovative work you hired them to do in the first place. So let's put it another way. What this really means is your team is probably only operating at 40% of their actual capacity. Seriously, let that sink in. More than half of their brain power, their creativity, their potential, it's just being eaten alive by bad processes. And this isn't abstract stuff. We're talking about real, super frustrating things. I'm talking about the hours and hours lost every single week just chasing down info for a brief, getting stuck in those endless approval loops, or, and this is a classic, just trying to find the right version of a file. Sound familiar? I bet it does. Okay, so you feel this pain, this pressure to do something. So what do most companies do? Well, they make a really common and, honestly, a very tempting mistake. They think the answer is just to buy a new tool. And this is the classic move, isn't it? Hey, problem? Let's just buy ChatGPT enterprise licenses for everyone. It feels proactive, it feels like you're taking action. But really, it's just a Band-Aid. It looks like a solution, but it absolutely is not.
And here's exactly why that whole approach is pretty much doomed from the start. First off, some people use it, some don't, so adoption is all over the place. Then there's zero quality control, so the results are inconsistent. That leads to what we call shadow AI, where your team starts using their own unapproved and often insecure AI tools just to get their work done. And what are you left with? A big security headache and absolutely no way to prove a single dollar of ROI.
Which brings us to probably the most important point of this whole section, and it's something you really need to remember. Automating a bad process just gives you bad results faster. You can't just throw a shiny new tool at a broken system and expect magic to happen. You're just making a bad system run quicker. So, what's the answer then? What's the right way to do this? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental shift in how you think. You have to stop asking, what tool should we buy, and start asking a much, much better question. What problem are we actually trying to solve? And that leads us right to the core idea here. Audit before you automate. Seriously, think of it like going to the doctor. You wouldn't want them to just hand you a prescription without figuring out what's wrong first, right? Of course not. This is the exact same thing. It's about diagnosing the specific bottlenecks in your workflow before you even start thinking about what AI solution to use. And the process itself is actually pretty simple. It's 3 steps. First, you identify. You find those hidden time sinks that are costing you real money. Second, you map. You visualize your whole operation to see how work actually flows. And then, and only then, do you build. You deploy targeted AI solutions, we call them quick wins, to fix the real problems you found. Okay, great. So let's say you've done your audit. You've probably got a whole list of things you could fix. So now the big question is, where do you even start? How do you pick the thing that's going to give you the biggest impact, the fastest? Well, this is where a tool called the AI Opportunity Matrix comes in. It is your absolute best friend here. It's just a simple grid, and it's basically your map to making smart decisions. It helps you plot out every single idea based on just 2 things. How much impact will it have, and how much effort will it take? And here's the key. You always, always start in the top left corner. That's the quick wins box. These are your golden tickets, the projects that are high impact but low effort. This is how you build momentum, prove the value of what you're doing, and get everybody on the team excited. Fast.
All right, so you've used the matrix, you've found your quick wins. Now it's time to get serious and turn those ideas into a concrete, time-bound action plan. We're not talking about some vague strategy document here. This is a 90-day roadmap to getting real results.
And we break it down month by month to make it super manageable. Month 1, that's all about planning and launching your very first quick win. In month 2, you're rolling out the next one while you start measuring the impact of the first. And by month 3, you're scaling up what's working and fine-tuning the whole system.
And here's what that might look like in the real world. See how the projects are staggered? It's not about doing everything at once. You launch that first quick win, the brief generator, in the first 4 weeks. Then, while that's already starting to deliver value, you're already halfway through building the next one. It creates this amazing compounding effect where the value just keeps building, month after month. Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, but let's look at a real-world case study to see how this actually plays out. Because at the end of the day, this is about getting a tangible payoff. So here was the bottleneck. A team was wasting 36 hours every single month just writing and revising creative briefs. The pain was real. The quick win? It was a custom AI workflow that automatically interviews stakeholders through a simple form and then generates a perfect, complete brief in a matter of minutes. And the results? I mean, they were just dramatic. That whole process went from 36 hours a month down to just 3. That's a saving of 33 hours of painful work every single month.
So what does that actually mean in terms of money? Well, that one little quick win generated almost $50,000 in value every year. And the best part, the project paid for itself in less than 3 months. Now that is what a real measurable win looks like.
So, when it comes right down to it, winning with AI isn't about buying the latest, flashiest tool. It's about being a detective. It's about finding your real problems and then fixing them, one by one. The path forward is actually pretty clear. Audit your process, build a plan, and then get the payoff. So the only real question left for you is, where are your team's quick wins hiding?